All right, guys, so this is Anthony. Anthony,
Hi, how are you?
what did we find here at Granvia, Valmonte?
Not much. So I'll kind of give you an idea of what I've done, and then we'll go through the entire report. So as far as a property inspection, we're testing all the major components: heating, air conditioning, plumbing, electrical. I use a drone to look at the roof as well as the site and kind of really stress all components to see if there's a problem. We find it today, so you don't have any surprises when you guys get in here. So jumping right into the report, 2 different icons to look for. Blue circle with an eye, general information. You're gonna have photos of every room below every sink, aerial shots, garage, exterior, pool equipment, all of that. Then you're gonna see an orange triangle or an orange bar, and that's gonna identify any defects we found. Very few. So jumping right in, we have some stucco cracks in the exterior walls. Very, very common. We say once you can put a nickel in the side of it that needs to be addressed, these are, we call them settling or spider cracks. They're hairline cracks throughout, and they're very minimal. So you'll see a few of those. As far as the garage, it's, we're looking for safety items. Do we have holes in the firewall? Do we have, exposed wiring? Do we have issues? The only thing I found in the garage was the door that leads to the interior of the property, which is the fire door, needs to have a self-closing hinge. Currently, the door stays open when you let it go. A lot of times,
does it have the hinge and it just needs to be adjusted?
It does have the hinge. It's a big, heavy door. A lot of times people pull the pin out because they don't want the door to smash the kids' fingers or themselves or close behind them. But I, as the inspector, I just need to tell you, hey, have it self-closed.
Okay.
Just being very picky with this home, it's immaculate. So the garage door, the main bottom side of the door, there's weather stripping. There's 2 little areas that have come they've detached a bit. Very, very minimal. And then the side access door that leads from the side yard to the garage, there is weather stripping, but there's a gap on the bottom. So when you look from the outside, I'm just trying to keep critters out. You can just extend that weather stripping to keep any moisture or pests from entering.
Okay.
As far as the roof, I took, I think, 14 different high resolution drone images for you, so you can really zoom in.
And you were specifically looking, we thought there was rust up
there.
there.
Yeah, just because the makeup of this property, with it being steel construction, it's kind of, it's rare, to be honest with you. But looking up top, I was pleasantly surprised. Everything is cased in aluminum or galvanized metal, so there's no rust or deformities whatsoever that I could see. The only issue that you'll see is there's roof drains and there's some debris, some tree litter that has fallen up there that I would recommend, every few months or once a year, have somebody come up there, blow it off, so you don't have any backups.
So, and that's the quote unquote rust then, right?
Yeah,
is that what you're seeing?
If we had concerns of discolorization, from what I can see from my images, and you'll see because they're really high, they're 20 megapixel, they're very high resolution. It's tree litter and maybe some dust that over years, with some moisture, I wouldn't even call it mud because it's not. It's just very slight color changes in the roof. But I did not see anything where there was even metal. All the metal you'll see, it's either painted or it's galvanized. So you'll see that silver kind of that area there.
And what is the surface of the roof made
of?
It's
like a mastic. Well, it's not even mastic. It's actually it's a polypropylene. It's a material. It's actually a sheet that they roll out, and then they actually almost heat shrink it to the roof material, and then that's why it looks. You'll see seams throughout, and they actually, I don't know the exact the makeup of the material, but it is a plastic of some sort. So it acts as 2 things, obviously as a vapor barrier, a moisture barrier, and then obviously it works as well for just temperature control. And they have what is called like a cool coating on the material.
Okay.
So moving on to the electrical system, you have a solar system here, you have the Tesla power walls. It's really beyond our scope. I can look at it and say, hey, it's there. It appears that it's creating power, but I would definitely reach out to the solar company and find out what this system is rated for. Every panel is different, every inverter is different, but it appears to be working flawlessly. Main electrical panel, no issues. Same thing with carbon monoxide and smoke detectors. In the state of California, you have to have a carbon monoxide detector and then smoke detectors within bedrooms and common areas, and you'll see that. The home is equipped with fire sprinklers, so you'll see these flat little covers throughout the property. That's what those are. Unfortunately, you'll see a few. I didn't make mention because it's actually quite common. There's a few of the sprinklers that are just sitting down a little bit. It's just when they hung the pipes, because they flex a little bit. So you'll see little gaps. Just don't mess with them. It's under a pressure system. It's always charged. So if you were to kind of try to manipulate those and put them back in, you may run the risk of creating a bigger mess.
A water problem.
Hey, yeah, just stay away from those. Everything looks where they should be. and there's no problems. Water pressure was a little bit low on the property. It's right at about 50 pounds. It's pretty common in this neighborhood, to be honest with you. You could try to adjust it if you wanted more, but I will tell you, we really stress the home on when it comes to the plumbing side, and it's more or less, we had plenty of volume and pressure throughout. So I would much rather have low water pressure than high water pressure. Low water pressure, it's really not an issue. I just need to tell you, hey, within the standard, it should be between 60 and 80 pounds. We're at about 55 pounds. Not too big of a deal.
But to understand that, so like when you were working with the kitchen sink or filling the tub, there was plenty of volume coming out.
Absolutely, and pressure throughout. So, and we tried to, I hate to say it in front of the listing side, but it's if it's gonna fail, I want it to fail today. And you know what I mean by that is we're running tub, shower, sinks, toilets all at the same time.
Right.
And fortunately, we couldn't get it to fail. So, and that's expected with its age.
Okay, well that's good.
Just so you're aware, 2 tankless water heaters. You have 2 closets, one on the north side by the garage, and then one on the east side. Each carries a tankless water heater and your furnace. So if you're ever wondering where those are, not that you're gonna go check them out, but there they are. So you'll see photos of those as well. No issues, and your air conditioning condensers are sitting on the exterior of the east side of the property. No issues with either of those systems. With that being said though, every year I would have them serviced, and then I would normally say, hey, change your filters every 90 days, but with your particular system, you have large cartridge filters. So I would contact whoever is probably doing the maintenance already on this property as far as the HVAC system and see what they recommend. Is it every 6 months? Is it once a year that they change these cartridge filters out? But you'll see photos of those. Kitchen space, everything's functional within the kitchen. The only thing that we just being extremely picky, the high loop air gap that feeds the dishwasher, it should create a high loop, and you'll see a pictogram in here. It's very minimal, but it doesn't cost any money. It's just to create a reverse trap, just in the case of, let's say there's a backup in your garbage disposal, you don't get dirty water into your clean dishes. Very, very, very simple.
And so what you're saying is there's a tube underneath the sink,
Yep.
and it just needs a hook that makes it go up higher than the entry into the garbage disposal.
Absolutely, because right now it's sitting below, so if the garbage disposal backs up, it's gonna go down into that drain. If you create the trap this way, water, it makes it a lot more difficult for the water to rise and then get into your clean dishes.
And again, that's not adding anything, it's just putting a hook up high on the wall and feeding it over the hook.
Yeah, and currently I'm just adding
A picture
little
of
more
that?
picture so you can see exactly what. The purification system here, while we're standing here, this is just a little bit loose. We can, that's just a nut on the bottom side. You can tighten that up. I mean, the home's near mint, so I had to find
You're
something.
calling out everything you possibly can.
Some minor chip floor. I mean, this is a true stone floor, these tiles. So you're gonna find a couple of hairline cracks throughout. Hey, we're in California, you get a little bit of movement, and with this not being porcelain, it's a little bit, I always call it character. It's not like a tripping hazard or anything like that. You can't even feel them. Laundry space, I don't run their equipment, but it is here, and there's no moisture damage. Everything looks great behind. There's no problems there. Let's see here, minor cracks. I'm just going through. The hall bathroom, the sink is a little bit slow draining, which is probably, maybe has some, debris, some hair or something along those lines. The pocket door in the primary bedroom, it sticks just a hair. I mean, it's a big, heavy door. So once you operate it one time, you'll go, okay, I'm just gonna have to pull this door a little bit heavier or harder. I honestly don't know how you would even truly adjust it. It's just for me, if I see it, I just wanna let you know. That door probably weighs a good 100 pounds. I mean, it's a big, big door. And it just kind of sticks when you pull it out. You're gonna see photos of every room in the property. There's one area near the den. There's a little bit of corrosion or possible rust.
Actually, why don't we go take a look at it?
Let's look at that.
Here we go, we're back.
Okay, so now we're in the little den area here. So you can come down in this section. Just remember, this home, everything is made from steel. It's quite rare, and it's pretty interesting actually. But you can see over the years, there's probably just been a little bit of moisture that's come through here. And these are actually weld marks, and you can see. So I honestly, I would talk to...
Do you think that might even come from mopping on this
That's
side
what
of it?
I was just gonna say, because I don't see damage from the exterior at all. I mean, I guess the ultimate fix would be they'd probably take a wire wheel to that and then put some type of a sealant, a Kills or some type of metal sealant, and then paint it again.
Okay.
Very minimal. I don't see any intrusion, and the tile or the stone hasn't discolored. So that tells me that we don't have water sitting there. And with metal, it doesn't take much for it to turn.
Right.
And it could, like you were saying, Mark, just simply
Mopping
the mop
could have
hitting
been
it. So let's move on to the primary bedroom here.
Actually, as we go past this, I was just going to notice that we're missing this. It's in my visual inspection. And there is a small seam crack just in an area of the back here because that's a seam. It's
Yeah, they
nothing big.
didn't have enough material. I think, honestly, I mean, it's up to you guys, but
bigger
this
TV's going to
massive-
cover. Well, you want to
you have
cover
this
You want to
massive-
cover those, so you're going to put a
I mean,
big
you got to
TV.
get that 85-inch or something. You know, why
Yeah.
not? It's in here. You might have your eyes hurt, but hey, the space is there. So coming into this area, you can. I think I'm about 99.9% sure what has caused this. So I just happened to look, and you can kind of not sure if you're picking it up in the.
Yeah, there you go. That shows.
So you can see this stain, these stains here. It runs all the way across over this side as well. I believe the window washer created that. And you know, they came in here with their heavy squeegee, knock it down, and it looks, because it has a sheen.
Yeah, if you take this away from it,
sorry.
see the sheen that's there in
Oh yeah.
this area
Yeah,
here?
you can see it right in this area.
So that's, go ahead, you can complete your thought on that.
Yeah, so that's my thought, that, and this just happened to be, I think, because of the angle and the time of the day with the sun, you can see it a little more. Just, I'm sure.
They were
just a little-
cleaning and
Yeah.
somebody was just very sloppy.
Yeah, I just think they didn't realize it was going to discolor. You know, if it was white paint, you probably wouldn't see it. But with this gray flat, it added a little sheen to it. So now you have a little semi-gloss here. But I think just a little quick touch up with some paint will fix that issue.
Okay. Do you want to show the stick? Where's the sticking door that you were talking
let me
about?
just show you right here. I think it's. Is it there? No, wrong there.
Oh, it's the middle. It's the middle
I
bedroom.
lied to you. Sorry.
We'll do a little tour through the house here. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, right here. So you have this big pocket door, and it's just toilet's opening up for us and everything. And you know what? Now it's not.
So now it's not sticking
Now
at
it's
all.
not sticking, of course.
So it's a non-sticking door.
So it's not sticking. So we're not even going to see that on the report. But at first, I'll just be honest, when I first opened it,
I
was a
bet
little-
I bet no one ever closes it because I
Yeah.
bet they closed this door next to me on the left.
And I've probably opened and closed it about 5 or 6 times, and now it's not sticking. So I'll
Non-sticking
remove that
door.
on the report, so you're not going to see it.
There we
but,
go.
I guess we can go to the next. There's not much more. Okay, so we talked about the stains. Oh, jumping into the pool. So as far as my end of the pool, I test operation. So, you know, I don't test the pH of the water. That's beyond our scope. That would be more or less obviously the pool guy. But I grab the remote. We good with the light.
Oh, it's toilets behind you. I figured
Oh,
the
sorry.
open toilet probably
I
not so
appreciate that.
necessary.
So when it comes to, you know, that's really beyond our scope, but I grab the remote and we turn everything on. So lights, heater, all of the 3 different pumps you have. Everything was functioning, no issues. I did note you have 2 fills on this pool, and I noticed one of the irrigation control valves next to the pool equipment had a slow leak.
So the
I'm not
fill
sure
is the thing that
if you can see here.
automatically, okay, so this is the thing that turns on and off the fill.
Correct.
And on the left, you can see the algae.
Yeah, so what the fix here would be, it's just leaking from this handle. They would just cut this off, put a new valve, very, very minimal.
And that's going to kind of a float that will, when it goes down too low, because
Yep.
your pool water is down too low, same for the pond in the middle of the house,
Yep.
it will autofill that. So both those are autofilled and they don't go down.
You don't need me, Mark. Knows it
I
all.
just make sure I say where's going on here.
Absolutely.
So,
You'll see there's a comment about the salt cell that it's just beyond our scope, just like I was telling you. I don't have the ability to test the water, but it shows that it is functional, just so you're aware there. And then just getting back to the side of safety. Any direct access point to a pool area needs to have some type of an alarm. Now, everybody takes them off because they're quite annoying. You open up that slider and everything goes haywire. But as your inspector, I need to say, hey, be safe, put some door alarms. But if they're off, they're off.
the door alarms are the ones that screech when the door opens.
They're
That's what we're talking
absolutely a
about.
nightmare, absolutely. And then you'll see the gate that leads to the front of the property. Technically, that should self-close as well, because if someone were to walk right up into your walkway, you know, it's not separated from the pool has direct access.
Oh, the fact you can leave it open is technically not to
Right.
code. Got it.
That's it. Everything else in this home would just be your typical, well, I don't even want to say wear and tear because it's not here. It's just, you may find some scuffs. I don't move furniture, you know, obviously, but everything has its place. I mean, this home is, I mean, it's amazing. It truly is. It was a tough one. A lot of times we can tear homes apart. This one, I had to really dig deep. And there's still not much we found. But please, if there's any questions, concerns, my information is all over the report. Reach out, and I look forward to talking with you if you have any questions.
Okay. Thanks,
Thank you.
Anthony. Appreciate it.